Well, Axis Bank Q3 earnings have been announced, meeting street estimates in the third quarter. Abhishek standing by now to decode the numbers for us. What's the Axis report card looking like, Abhishek?
Well, a strong set of numbers coming in from Axis Bank, especially on the business growth. And if you take a look, even the PNL has meeting our expectation. Look at the deposit growth, 18.5% YOY and about 5.2% sequentially. It is higher than the sequential growth is actually higher than industry average of about 3 to 4%. Take a look at the loan growth, 22.3% YOY and about 3.9% sequentially. The 3.9% sequential growth is also on the higher side, and 22% means that they have gained a market share. So in terms of net interest margin, calculation shows that net interest margin might have declined because the NII is up 1.8% quarter on quarter, while your loan growth is at 3.9%, which means there is slight dip in the net interest margin, which is on expected line. Asset quality remains robust. Gross NPA ratio and net NPA ratio are the best that you are seeing in last 8 to 9 years or even more. In terms of operating profit, the YOY decline is seen, which was expected. Sequential operating profit growth is at 5.9%. Provisions have risen 26.2% sequentially, largely on expected line, given the fact that AIF related and other provisions are being made by bankers this time around. But no taking away from the fact that strong business momentum seen and asset quality has improved, which should get a thumbs up from the street tomorrow. We have Ashutosh Mishra of Ashika Stock Broking. Ashutosh, your first take on the results.
The result is quite good given the way they are managing their asset and liability growth. That's clearly indicating that things are moving in the right direction for the banks. And the benefit of the merger of the City Consumer is also, I think, now start getting reflected into their earnings, and that will be more prominent in the coming quarters too. So yes, things are moving in the right direction. We need to know about what is the progress on that front, and on the AIF part to understand that is there anything else to understand on AIF.
Well, Ashutosh, as you mentioned, it's with respect to business momentum, it's pretty strong. I have not seen any bank with 5% plus kind of a deposit growth on a sequential basis. So it's heartening to see that while others are fighting for deposit growth, Axis Bank has been able to deliver on deposit growth, especially, which is the raw material for the banking business. What do you make of the business momentum that they have seen?
Yes, this is a very important parameter at this point of time, that given the way they are able to grow the deposit base, and especially I think contribution is also start coming from the City acquisition on the deposit fund, not only from the credit card and fee income fund, but even on the deposit fund, because the liability franchise was quite good. But initially we have seen some contraction in that franchise, but I think the positive impact of that has started kicking in, and that may have helped the banks to overall achieve the much better deposit growth compared to the many other banks in the system.
Well, we also have with us Rahul Malani of Sharekhan. Rahul, your first take on the numbers that Axis Bank has delivered. It's, in line with what the street were anticipating, right?
Yes, the overall number are broadly in line with the estimate, with our estimates as well as the consensus estimates. One thing which you have highlighted is very true, that deposit growth sequentially 5% is one of the strongest in the sector. So we believe that this is one of the important factor, and the street was watching this deposit growth very keenly for all the banks, and Axis Bank has outperformed on this front.
Well, Ashutosh, one question on the valuation. What's your take with right now Axis Bank valuations?
So valuations looks quite reasonable at this point of time. Stock has seen some surge in the last 3-month period, if I so. But valuation looks quite promising. And given the impact, 2 points is very important to look at Axis. One is that the higher OPEX related to the City acquisition will start coming down in FY25. So earning growth will be relatively better than the many other banks in the case of the Axis. So keeping that in mind, I clearly think the valuation is quite attractive at this point of time.
Ashutosh, as you highlighted about the OPEX, the cost to income ratio has declined to 49.5% versus 50% plus in the previous quarter. Thank you, Ashutosh and Rahul, for joining us on the show. Back to you, Shireen.
Abhishek, many thanks for joining us. That's Axis Bank delivering in-line numbers. And as Abhishek was pointing out, the deposit growth at 5% is certainly going to be something to take heart from as far as the bank is concerned.